Yo, what is up guys, it's Aqsept here, welcome back to another video. Today we're doing patch 14.16 rundown. Sorry for being one day late on this, I completely forgot there was a new patch, well, today or yesterday I guess. And I didn't have time to record, but either way, we're second day of the patch, still gonna do a rundown. So yeah, let's get into it. Only Corki getting nerfed this patch, a bunch of champions getting buffed, and some champions getting adjusted, some system adjustments as well. Let's see this. Alright, let's just jump straight into it. Champions Asir, health regeneration up by 1.5 and his base armor up by 3. I mean, it's not gonna like crazy buff him or anything. The armor is pretty nice though, because right now it's like ADC meta still in mid lane, I would say, or like mainly AD meta. Yeah, it just helps him in those kind of matchups, but does he still lose to those champions in lane? Yes, 100%. He still loses to Corki, he still loses to Lucian, Ezreal, Jace, etc., right? I mean, there's some that are, I mean, they're probably gonna be easier, but yeah, it's not like incredible buffs for him. I don't think it's gonna bring him back into pro play, but it's, I mean, it's nice buffs, and in spots where you maybe would consider picking him, he's gonna be a bit better. Alright, Corki, mana cost up from 60 to 80 to 80 at all ranks, and his cooldown on the Q as well, up by 1 second on every single rank. The cooldown and the mana both matter somewhat. It's not gonna gut him or anything. I think the main reason why Corki is strong is because, well, he can trade auto attacks and E with basically anyone in lane and win for that reason. It's like most AD champions right now run Tabais, and this ability deals magic damage, which means he kind of wins when both sides have Tabais. And he used to outscale most people. The champion is still gonna be strong, but he's not like, I mean, it's a slight nerf. It's not anything crazy, but yeah. Alright, Katarina, Q damage increased, E damage decreased, or on hit effectiveness decreased. So Katarina was a bit adjusted. Let's see this Q damage. You have it up by 40 on the last rank, so up by 10 on every single rank. And 10% AP scaling. So one thing I've seen with this change is that Cat Evolved, for example, is running Ares Sudden Impact on Katarina. And what you do is you press Q, E, and you can actually poke down a lot of opponents. So it's, I don't know how good it is, but that is something to take in consideration. If you're a Katarina player, you probably already know about it. If you're not, well, it's something that could be quite strong, I think. Alright, E damage is nerfed by 5, going up every single rank. So on 20 on the last rank, and her ult on hit effectiveness is down by 5% on every single rank. So yeah, this is kind of a general, like, trying to buff AP Katarina compared to AD and on-hit Katarina. And we'll see how that goes. I mean, as I said, this just looks like a lane bully thing to me more than anything. But there is some AP scaling, but I don't think it's gonna be like crazy in that sense. The nerfs seem to nerf AD Katarina a bit more though, but maybe it's not like AP Katarina is that bad. Maybe it's just that this version of Katarina has been a lot better, right? Alright, let's see, Lucian. 15 plus 50% bonus, or rather total AD. So the total AD is up by 20% on his passive damage, and then his Q damage is down by 10 flat on every single rank. Yeah, I mean, it's not a crazy change or anything. It's like, yeah, it nerfs him slightly in the early game, I would say, and buffs him slightly later on. Yeah, it's not gonna do much. Alright, Orianna, Q command attack has been, wait, oh no, she's buffed. Okay, I'm stupid. I was like, I thought she was one of the champions that was in adjustments, but no. Okay, her, yeah, she just gets 5% AP scaling. Alright, Kiana, base armor increased by 3. Same thing as every other. It doesn't like crazy change the champion or anything, but it is a nice thing. Damage up by 10 in the early game on her Q, and she has more bonus AD, but it's down a bit flat later. And her bonus damage from monsters is up by 25, so I will see what they're doing here. They're buffing her tankiness, and they're buffing her damage towards monsters, so they're trying to make her into a bit more of a jungler again. Her W bonus on-hit damage is nerfed a bit, so that's interesting. And then her Supreme Display of Talent, her ult, let's see here, is nerfed a lot on the bonus AD, but yeah, it's just nerfed on the bonus AD, so I mean, it's a bit strange, because it feels like it's not really buffing her in any way. Like, this buffs her somewhat, right? Okay, 10 more damage in the early game, not bad. It's a bit less later on, but you do get more bonus AD scaling, so that's nice. But the other abilities are a bit nerfed. So I don't think she's getting buffed in any way, really. I mean, the armor is nice, but really I'm seeing a lot of nerfs. Like, for example, the bonus AD or bonus AD nerf on her ult seems quite big, to be honest. Like, 45% is quite a lot, so yeah, I wouldn't be too happy. Alright, Senna. All abilities except E adjusted, so apparently they did a lot to Senna this patch, so let's see. Base stats, attack speed growth has been changed from 4% to 2%, so that's halved. Her critical strike chance per 20 stacks has been bumped down from 10% to 8%. Her Q, piercing darkness, healing. Oh, this is interesting. So before she had a lethality stat on her Q for the healing. Now, instead of the lethality stat, she has a bit more bonus AD scaling, but mainly her AP scaling is doubled. So that's interesting. And her slow is also bumped up a bit for her AD and her AP. So generally what this just does is that flat stats like AP AD are just better on her. Root duration on her, what's it called, W is up by 0.25. Her shield on her ult, once again, AP is up a bit, so it mainly does so that like some items like Ginsu, for example, can be better on her. It makes it so a lot of like general more stats are useful on her. Lethality is obviously a bit gutted on the healing here, so Lethality Senna is probably a bit dead, I would say. But going other things like, I mean, even Enchanter items or Ginsu or like these kind of items are probably better options for Senna now, and other crit items as well, like IE, etc. Now that Backheaver now always procs stack on hit, this means that now plays 2 stacks on auto and Q. Okay. Alright, let's see here. Skarner gets buffed again. Base health is up by 20, base attack damage is up by 3, and his bonus AD ratio on his Q is up by 75. I mean, I will say this. I don't think Skarner is in like that good of a spot right now. I don't think he's like Omega weak. But I kinda am a bit done with this champion after he was so OP for so many patches in a row. I kinda just personally want them to sit on it and don't buff Skarner, because I don't mind not facing the champion for a while. But yeah, I mean, it's on decent changes. Like 3 attack damage is a lot. People don't understand how much this is usually. It's quite a bit. And the bonus AD ratio, I mean, it doesn't do that much, I'll be completely honest, because Skarner is not a champion that builds AD anyways, so like this probably does absolutely nothing. I mean, the base AD is nice. Is it gonna like make him a good champion? Or like better than he is already? Probably not that much, but I mean, I already think he's fine. I don't want him to get buffed too many patches in a row. I think last patch he got buffed a little bit. I mean, it's probably gonna help him in jungle a bit. So that's nice, because I think Skarner jungle is something that can work right now. Alright, Silas. Base health up by 25. His passive damage to primary target has been up by 5% on AP ratio. And his W damage is up by 10 flat. I mean, yeah, it's alright buffs. Once again, this is... I mean, the health is alright, but it's just kind of placebo buffs. Like, this is the thing with what Riot has been doing for a while. So far, I think, for almost every single change, except for maybe the Senna one and the Katarina one, which we've read, these are just very placeholder buffs, I feel like, which is very sad to see, because I don't think this actually changes the meta. And then it's like, I would personally rather they do 1 patch in the span of 2 patches of what they're doing right now, and it just actually matters, because right now, this doesn't do that much, I think. Alright, let's see here. Syndra, R damage increase, damage per orb is up by 10 on every... Once again, it doesn't do anything, to be honest. It really doesn't. 10 damage is... I mean, it's alright, but it's really not that relevant. Q damage increase on Vi. Minimum damage is up by 5 on every single rank, and her maximum damage is up by 10 on every... Like, once again, this just doesn't do almost anything. So yeah, this... I mean, it's not gonna change the scenarios where you pick Vi, it's not gonna change the scenarios where you don't pick Vi, etc. It's just gonna be the same things, like Vi is gonna pick when people think she's a good champion, and this change won't matter. It's just her kit design. Alright, Wukong. Bonus armor, For his passive stacks, based on level 5 to 9, it's now 6 to 10. This actually does matter, I think, because Wukong passive stacks, I mean, this can be like 5 armor, this can matter a bit. Saving some HP in jungle, being a bit stronger in skirmishes, being a bit stronger in top lane. This actually does matter. And bonus attacks be up by 5%. I mean, it's something. It's not incredible or anything. It's alright. But, I mean, this one does do something. I actually think, like, in top lane, it can give him some buffs. I don't think it's too bad right now in top lane, and I think, like, any small buff he can get like this is gonna do a lot, right? Alright, items. Black Cleaver. We're softening some of Black Cleaver stacking rules, which will make the item much stronger for some champions who used to be able to apply 2 stacks at once. Black Cleaver no longer prevents champions from applying 2 stacks for basic attacks and abilities that apply after on-hit effects, example Senna. For basic attacks and abilities that apply after on-hit effects. So like Senna procs Cleaver twice, I mean that's kinda stupid. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. Blade of the Ruined King. Damage is down by 5. Attack speed is down by 5%. On-hit damage is buffed for melee, but nerfed for range. I mean, I'll be completely honest. And this is not a popular take, but I don't think Blade of the Ruined King is a good item. I think this item is a bit overrated. I think it has its spots, but it's a very awkward item. Because most ADCs you don't want to build it on. Except if it's a first item, because it's synergized on a champion. Because generally you want crit, and you want other stats instead. And usually BT is just a better item. Or Kraken Slayer for that matter, one of these two. And it's not good on melee champions generally, because you could become so squishy. And on top of that, it's not actually good at killing tanks, even if you're an ADC, for example. Because the on-hit damage, for example, doesn't actually deal like as much damage as you expect, because it is physical damage, so it's blocked by armor. So it's good versus tanks, but it's good versus tanks that build HP and not armor, if that makes sense. So I think this item is already not that great, and it's a bit nerfed here, so I mean, yeah, I don't think it makes sense personally, but yeah. Hellfondor's Blade down by 20, and Lifesteal down by 0.5. I mean, it's still a strong item, but it's gonna change. I would mainly say it changes for bruisers who might play Doran's Blade. They might just prefer going, what's it called, Doran's Shield instead. But I mean, yeah, it's ADCs. Any champion that usually builds the Blade and is like a range champion is still gonna play the Blade. And yeah, I mean, it's a slight nerf, but not that big of a nerf. Alright, Death Timers and Death Guards. This actually does matter. So Death Timers is basically up by 4 seconds in the early game on every level. Until mid-game, and then it starts going down by, or going up by 2 seconds instead. So it just nerfs people dying. Sorry, 1 sec, I have another stuff now, shooting. It nerfs people dying a lot, generally, and it buffs people who play aggressive, right? Snowball champions, right? So when you, I mean, for me, I think the game is very comebackable right now. We're in a comebackable state where it's like there's a lot of shutdowns, there's a lot of comeback mechanics in the game, and for me, I don't think it's like super terrible in a sense, but I do think this helps the people that play aggressive and try to have agency in the game, which is something that I like. Does it like nerf most people that much? No, if you're not called the boss, you're probably fine. I'll be completely honest, you know. It's like you're gonna be chilling. Death Guards, decaying movement speed over 5 seconds, decaying movement speed over yeah, so you just have, well, this is strange, because you nerf the seconds of the actual death timer, but you make it so the home guard is a bit longer. And this has been made more general. I mean, this is just a quality of life change, but like, it just means that these 4 seconds, I mean, they still exist, but it's more like 2 seconds. Something like that, 3 seconds maybe. So it's not as impactful, but yeah, it's still impactful. Alright, and I believe that was it. I mean, there's honestly not that many changes. I think the changes that matter somewhat, the Katrina change matters a bit. The Kiana change might matter. I don't know exactly, but I don't think it does. Senna change matters a bit, but it's not gonna like change her massive amounts to the point where she's meta or not meta, but it does change those spots where you would pick her and why you would pick her, etc. I think. Yeah, Wukong change might matter for top lane Wukong, I would say. and otherwise there's not that much death timer change as well. But yeah, as said, I would prefer bigger patches personally and more spread out patches, but I mean, Riot does what they do. Either way, this has been me for today. If you have any questions, then T1 skins are out as well. That's banger. No, but if you have any questions, leave it in the comments. You can subscribe, like, etc. I stream on Twitch every single day. I've changed my stream schedule from being at 15 CEST to 15 to 21. It was before. Now it's from 12 to 18. CEST, so Central European Summertime. So if you want to check that out, go for it. Either way, I hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. But I won't be slowed by dust on the